Hello everyone, welcome to Q Design. I'm Janine, and in today's tutorial you'll learn how to create this motion for a simple game for your Sparkly AR filter. And this is the first part of two parts. In this part you learn how to create the motion of the clouds, how to create the motion of your emoji in this case, and how you can make sure that you have targets you want avoid and want to score. And this is the second part is this one right here. I started, and so you can create points, and when you hit one of the arrows, the game stops. Once again, this is part 2. Let's start with this project. Let's start with the setting of our scene, our composition, and we create two different canvas, one for the background and the other one for the game elements. In part 2 you will see the another canvas for score and one for the game over, but in this tutorial we just create the setting for our game, the canvas for our background, and in this background we need one rectangle for our color. Go to rectangle, this is our BG color, and fill this with whole screen. Go into this one and go to face paint. I think that's okay. And now we need the patch editor. This is our first patch we create. I want to make this gradient, it's kind of a sky look. So go to library, go to your library and patch assets, patch assets. So, and I think 2 color gradient is okay. Cool. And go to your material, our BG color material, texture. Add the texture, and this one is light blue, okay, and the other one is a darker violet. Something like that. Okay, and now we need 2 different plates right here, and this one is in my case a little bit tricky. Cloud, this is cloud 1. Okay, and this is what's happened every time. This one is cloud 2. Okay, just take. And now we create a rectangle, but in my case it's a little bit weird with the scaling, so make sure you the rectangle, not the rectangle, the plane is like our background, height and size like our frame right here, but in my case it's a little bit weird, so I have to fix it manually. Go to create this like yes, it's a weird number. And I need to copy the scale into my other cloud background. And now for this clouds, I need the same material. Go to create new material and cloud matte and a flat, so it's no interaction with the lights, and go to my clouds right here. Add the material, okay, to my other, so it looks like that. And what I want to do next is I have one cloud, it's later in a kind of a loop, and I create the loop in a second, so I need to put this cloud 1 over the other background clouds. So I can create a loop with that. Okay, let's start with the animation of our clouds so that the clouds can float in a loop with the y-axis. So let's start with the screen touch. So when you touch the screen, the game starts and also the clouds float down. And screen tab, sorry. And create a switch and add to the switch value, and this is our play value. So and add not number, instead number, it's boolean, so it's kind of on and off. It's on, off, on, off. And now, yeah, we create the animation for our clouds at first. So start with a loop animation and add to that loop animation two transitions. So we transition for our y-axis. So one for the first cloud, so 0, and one for the second one. So, and now this is a little bit tricky for me because the numbers are very different from other tutorials, and I can change it so easily in Spark AR, so I have to copy the Y information for my transition. So sorry for that. That I can't tell you a number, and I have to make sure that is really the right number. And what I now do is pretty simple. I drag this down and use this number right here, copy this one and put it right here, and now I test it at first. This is transition 0 to cloud 0 and start the game, and pretty nice. before, of course, and that it's too much motion, so it looks good right now. And stop. And now we need the second transition for our cloud 1. So the same with that. Start right here, copy the information, and then I just use this value right here for my second information, because when this goes down, this one took his place, and then this make that sense? I have to test it right now. I'm not sure. But I think that makes sense. Okay. Yeah, it makes sense. Yay. Okay, that's the easy one. Awesome. So when you have a game where you go from left to right, you have just to manipulate the X information right here instead of the Y axis. So pretty easy to create a different loop animation out of this. Now I group that. Oh no. And now I create a group. So this is motion cloud. Awesome. Now I want to create the animation of my emojis, and what I do is simply go to this emoji and create use these two emojis, select both of them and go to texture sequence, so it creates a sequence. I create an animation sequence too, called animation emoji, and choose this one. Now the second canvas. This one is our game elements. And I create a plane, and this one is our emoji. And add to this plane a new texture, new material, and this is emoji matte, and of course our animation sequence, yes, and flat, so it looks really good. And I don't know, hello, yes, 7. I think it's okay. And with this emoji, I go a little bit down. What we need for this animation, and now I forgot something very important. You need a face tracker, and you put all your elements in your face tracker. So nothing happened, but we need the information from our face tracker for our game elements. Now I create the information for my emoji. When I rotate my head, the emoji will go to the right and to the left, and I start right here, so I have just to put the information for the right rotation into the transition, so it's a lot easier to create the the motion or the effect. So start with the face tracker right here, and no, stop. Select the face tracker, go to patch creator and create the head rotation, so you have all the information right here. And now we create the turn right information with our animation. That's enough, and we want to turn it on and also off. This one, it's kind of reverse. And now like in the other patch, create a transition, and we need two different information. We need the information for our y-axis, so where you want your emoji, and this one is for start and end the same number, and we need the information for our x for the left corner and the right corner. And go to, like I said in the first place, I need to use the values I find here. So copy this one for start and end in the y, for the y information. So it's the really starts here and not in the middle. And now for my left corner, starts here, and the information is for this one right here. And now you see I have created the information for that, but I want to make sure that when I create what I want to do before I start in the second part with the animation, I want to create an unpack, because we need the information from our x and y value later for our gaming logic. So go to unpack, and we need just these two, and I create now I put this one together and call this one emoji. And what I want to create is group properties. I want two outputs, the X output and the Y output. And this output right here, this one is X, this one is Y. X, Y. So I double click to go into, here we are, go into the my patch I created for my emoji, and I want to make sure that this information, our output for X and Y, is linked with the unpack information from our transition. So when I later hit star or the arrow, it creates an score, so a point, or the game is over. So that's why I need this information. And yes, it's linked now to this output right here. Now we create our targets, our stars. In this case, I call it score 1, 2, 3. Just this is our targets. We create our counter with. So, so when I hit one of these targets or the stars, I get a point for this. So let's start with a plane like before, and add in this plane material. This material is score 0 matte. And add the first one into it, and of course flat. And we put this one, we start with, score. We create in our play animation loop. Animation loop. And add a transition to it. Transition, it's like the same before. And for this we want to go a little bit higher. Start in the left corner, go to the right corner. So this position right here, we need the information from the Y and the X information for the star, and the information right here. And use this one, and when I start the game, yay, way too much. You see that you don't see the target, and that's why what I forget for all the materials is that I want to make sure that the use depth test is off, so that we have all our materials there's no conflict between the ZX or whatever, so that I always see the material. So whip, yay. Into a group like the emoji, so this is score 0, and I create also an group property, 2 outputs for my X and my Y value. And go right here. And now I want to create an unpack. So I have this information later for my account, so that I can create what I said before, the game logic into it. Now I want to create 2 other scores, so I just use this, so I have no I don't need to create every time the whole patch. I just copy this 2, so this is 1, this one is 2, and now I also create, make it a little bit different because it gets too fancy. This one is score 1, and another one for score 2. And we need 2 materials, one for score 1, course flat, and add this 1 for it, and we need second one, also new material, material score 2. I'll call it matte, sorry. Add flat and new material, second one. And I go to the score 1. And delay that. And now I create this one. I thought maybe starts right here. It's a little bit annoying, I know, because the values are so different. Bloop. And I want to start right here and maybe go to the left corner a little bit. And now I need the position from my score and test it. Yay! Make sure that you enter the depth. I need to refresh it, I think. Yeah, right. Maybe the duration a little bit, so we have more difference between when, yeah, so it's, the values are a little bit different, you see. And this the same one for the last star. So information, stop right here, create this one, go up here, maybe I start a little bit higher, so there's a lot of, or this comes a little bit later than the other two, so you can make easily make sure that the it's a little bit more or more difference between the stars. Yes, I'm right. So right here. And I will go up and refresh. Also. And position, refresh. And this is just duration. Now it's working. Now we need to create our arrows. Arrows. It's the same for the arrows. So you can use the information from two different scores. So copy. Oh no. Take this one, error, yeah, the error are the same texture, but this is error 0 and this one is error 1. And now we need, of course, claim 1 is for error 0 and another one for error 1. Zero and 1. And we need just one material. So create a new material, error mat, at the same scale. And of course, flat and call this one, and these two error and material also error. So this both of them, and I want to make sure that this is a little bit different. No. And put this is the first one right here, and these are a little bit slower, and the second one also. I just look. Okay, let's try it, how it works. And what I forget, of course, is the material depth test. And you see this one is on the same duration, so but I miss the second one. Oh, sweet. It's floating right there. Yeah, it's not working. Wait. This is okay for me, but I think I have to add, this is in the, go to this corner, and I think I go from this corner, and I use, like in the other, like the information from my patch. Annoying, I know. And I want that this one floats in this corner right here. No. Awesome. Take 5. Create new. Nope. And now it's yeah. And now you created your motion or your whole scene for the next step, and the next step is, I have to stop it. The next step is the game logic behind that. So it's like if I hit a star, a counter counts, and when I hit the arrow, the game stops. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I love to see you next time. And please, I have a little problem with the score script because the newest update it is not right updated right now. I don't know if I found a new script in a week, or maybe you can help me when you know the new script for counting and for the score. Please let me know, and put a link in the comment. And if you have questions, please let me all know. Comment down below, or you can go to @QandDesign on Instagram and send me a DM. And yes, enjoy the process, and we see us next time. Bye bye.